Damien Bartonek here on behalf of Fox Plus Texas and the official host of MMA Monday, the only MMA show in San Angelo. Now joining me today is a very special guest, someone that showed me a lot of love when I first started this show, and someone that I'm very, very happy to bring back on the show, someone that I'm very proud of. He was in a much different spot when I last talked to him in January. Without further ado, man, Brandon Royval. Brandon, how you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good, man. How about you?
I feel it's pretty crazy how crazy time goes, bro. A lot has changed in your life, a lot has changed in my life. But one thing that I think has changed the most is my boys fighting for a world title in December. Bro, when I got the news, when I saw it, I was so excited, so happy for you. I can only imagine how you were feeling, bro. So when you got that call, bro, how are you feeling?
Yeah, it was like one of those things I just had to sit on it for a while. I didn't tell too many people right off the bat. I just told like three people right off the bat, and then I was just sitting on it for a while, and I was like, "Is this really gonna happen?" And then I'm just kind of going through my head and just just reflecting. Definitely a moment of reflection, and definitely a moment of like, damn, this is real. This isn't like I had a pretty good idea I was gonna get the title shot, and I mixed.
And you had that moment of reflection. It's just me and you talking, bro. Just tell me, were you a little emotional? Were you a little like, like what was that like?
Yeah, yeah, I was super emotional. I called like a close friend of mine, and just like I was already on the phone with her, and she was just like, I was just like, kind of like, damn, like I'm gonna get the title shot, and then I was kind of reflecting on it, and I was like, damn, I really just I I had a hard way up, like I'm not saying like everybody does, but like nobody becomes a fighter the easy way. But it was just like it took me a lot to just get there, you know what I'm saying? So like the fact that I'm here and the fact that I got the title shot, it was like, you know, sometimes it's like I feel like some of these people don't put like a high like they don't put a cap on themselves, and it's like I admire that so much, but it was like I continuously put a cap on myself. I'm not one of those people that were like, I'm gonna be a champ one day, yada yada yada. It was just like I was just taking it as it goes, Like I didn't even know I was gonna get to the UFC. And I remember when I got to the UFC, I was just like, damn, I did it, And I remember I'm like, damn, like I accomplished something, and like I almost at that moment would have died okay, knowing I got that far. I'm like, damn, I don't even know anybody got to the NFL, the NHL, the NBA, none of that. And it was like, even just for a season, I didn't know anybody that did that really. So it was like I got to the UFC, I got a contract, I got 3 fights, and I'm like, I'm for sure gonna be here for 3 fights, And then I started winning against top 10 opponents, and I'm like, damn, I really am like, I really can do this, And it was like within the 2 wins, I was up for a title contender fight where I fought Moreno and dislocated my shoulder. And it's like, then I go watch Moreno fight the champion. And like, this is like one of these things too. It's like with Pantoja and Moreno, it's like, like they're rivals. They're like, like not enemies, but they're like, they're my like they're rivals. Like I don't even know how to describe it. They're like the opposition. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're like they're not my team, and it's like. But I've gotten so much inspiration for brushing shoulders with these guys and being able to watch what they've done and then win the title. So I remember when watching I dislocated my shoulder against Brandon Moreno, and then 3 weeks later he goes and fights Davison Figueiredo in a draw, and then I'm like, fuck, man, I felt good in that fight. Like I remember in the middle of the fight before I dislocated my shoulder, I remember like kind of like, damn, I really am belonging. This is number one contender right here. And I was like thinking that in my head. I'm like, damn, I really do belong here. And it's like I really can do this. And then watch him go win the or get a draw and then win the belt right after that. It was like some of the biggest moments of my life of just being like, damn, I really can do this and I really can beat these guys. And like, watching Pantoja win, I'm like, damn, that was another moment where I'm like, I know I could win this fight. And I know like I brushed shoulders with him. I was in the cage with him, and like even though I took the L on that fight, it's like I really felt like I belonged in there, and I really felt like I should have won that fight, and I just made a couple of dumb mistakes that led to my demise. And yeah, yeah. So it's just like those are some of the biggest moments and biggest influence moments in my life, and just watching them win, and just like I didn't have a high cap on myself at all, and then I just realized as life went on, I'm like, damn, I could really be the champion of this division, and really just um, be anything I've ever expected in my life.
You continuously throughout your career, like you said, it was not easy, bro. I mean, heck, your comeback fight, Mateus Nicolau, you were looked at as the underdog, and you starched him in less than 3 minutes, right? And even, a guy like, even before, whenever I first talked to you, had your injury. Like, it seems like there were so many things you had to go through, and you weren't, like, making the most noise, quote unquote, like, in terms of headlines. You were just kind of steady working, steady working, steady working. That's kind of what I've seen from your journey. Even whenever I saw you a couple times in Vegas for International Fight Week, because I covered that event. And funny about brushing shoulders, I actually brushed shoulders with you once, but I didn't mention anything to you because this was after you weighed in, and I was like, I'm not about to bother this dude. This dude just made weight. But it's the same thing as like, I figured, I was like, it only makes sense for Brandon to get the shot. But now that you have the shot, you seem like someone that's extremely focused. And a lot of times people misrepresent focus for like nervousness, or nervousness for focus, right? You don't seem at all to be nervous. You seem locked in, like you realize this is your destiny. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. It's just like, yeah, focus for sure is the word I would use. It's just focus, dialed in, and just like, I have my dreams right in front of me and it's there for the taking. And I feel like what you're saying is, and like what I feel in my heart is, it poetically fits my life of how I'm going to win this battle. It's just, I feel like nothing's ever came easy for me. I feel like I've always kind of learned things the rough way. I feel like, it's always been a long path and a long journey, but that's what makes me the fighter, is just not giving up. And I feel like poetically and, and just like fitting to my life, it makes sense that I'm gonna go win the belt off the only dude in my career who's ever actually beat me. And it's like I've never felt like, I felt like I've lost fights and I've lost rounds and all that stuff, but it's just like nobody's ever finished me in my career besides Alexandre Pantoja. And it's like almost poetic that I get to go back and right a wrong, and just almost like so fitting to my life of just like, you know what, I get a chance to go redo it, and this year I'm gonna make that team. Like I've got cut from this team, and this year I'm gonna make this team. And it's like for that all summer I practice, and it's like that's how I feel. It's just like I've been cut from every big team and situation in my life. I've never got the pretty girl the first try. I've never been one of those guys. You know what I'm saying? But like what I have been is because I never gave up on shit. And it's like that's if I bring anything to the table, it's that, is my willingness to just go in that dark place and work and work and work and just address the honest truth. And it was like this is one of the situations where it's like I had to go to a dark place, and like I lost this fight, and I had to just address what was wrong with me in this camp and what led to my demise in this fight and as a man. And like I said, I get it right or wrong on December 16th, and there's no doubt in my mind that I'm going to win that belt.
A lot of times, champions and fighters, before they win the physical belt, they believe they're already the champion. The belt more so is a reinforcement that they're the champion, but they believe they're the champion. For you, are you entering already believing that you are the champion, that this is yours, or how does your mentality switch up from once being the hunter? You still are the hunter technically, but if you believe the champion, I'm sure your mentality switches even more.
Yeah, yeah. So for me, it's like what I'm doing in the MMA sense is what I'm trying to do in life, and it's like I don't necessarily believe I've mastered life, but I definitely believe that I'm a champion in life, and the champion of like mastering these small little lessons and then turning them into and then turning them into goals, and then turning them into something that I accomplish. And I feel like I've done that time and time again. So it's like I don't feel like right now I'm a champion in the UFC because I'm absolutely not, but I feel like my skill set's there. Yes. Do I feel like by the time the fight camp goes, by the time the fight happens and the fight camp's over with and we put in all this work, that not only have I outworked him, but I've outsmarted him this whole entire camp. Yes. And I feel like in these small situations of like, I don't know, purchasing houses, of fucking, these relationships that I have, it's just like I feel like I'm becoming a champion in life there too. And it's like these little lessons I learned in MMA are so poetic. And I've always like thought of MMA as a metaphor, even when I was younger. It's just like life is like a fight. And it's like, yeah, I feel like you can compare that in so many different ways, but it's like in this certain ways, like these little lessons I learned along the way of fighting has helped me so much in life, and I feel like, I'm mastering life a little bit as I go on, and maybe mastering the MMA process. And obviously I'm not going to ever be perfect in either one, but I'm learning these little lessons along the way, and I'm becoming a better version of me along this way.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I wholeheartedly can relate to the whole part where you said, poetry and metaphor and life and everything. Bro, I look at my life the exact same way. Like I'm not literally word for word what you've said is exactly how I look at my stuff. For example, right, one thing that I learned from you in your jiu-jitsu specifically, right, just to kind of put this together, you have a really good pass whenever someone's in half guard. You're really good at moving the body and then getting your legs and kind of splitting them and getting your leg out. I've seen you pass that way, I believe, to get a head and arm triangle. I forgot what fight that was. And so I had a jiu-jitsu competition in August. I got silver, right? But one thing I was like thinking in my head is like, bro, I swear to God, if I'm in half guard, I'm gonna do the Brandon Royval. I was like, I'm gonna do the Brandon Royval. And unfortunately, I was never in that position, but I was thinking of it the same way because my the build up to that competition, I'm not going to make excuses, but I had a lot of injuries, and I still have them right now. I actually have to go see a specialist for my shoulders here in the near future. And one thing I was thinking about was like, man, if I win, like, I'm probably going to cry. Like, just thinking about how rough it's been, bro. And for you, I mean, mine's a very small scale. Yours is the top of the food chain. You know what I mean? So my last one, when it comes to this fight, bro, and when we talk about poetry and everything like that, visualization is a huge part of that. It's something that I do all the time. And being that you're a very much so a poetic person, metaphors, visionary, I'm assuming, whenever you do envision, not necessarily the fight or maybe the fight, but the overall process, what are just some things that come to mind?
Yeah. I even feel like this year was pretty big on journaling, and I don't ever go back and read. I've never went back and read any of my stuff, but like now that I got the title shot, I kind of was just going reflecting on like my journey of like just the beginning of the year, the first day of the year, of like what my goals were and like what all this stuff was, and it's just like the whole entire time along the line, I'm writing down, "You're going to be a world champion. You're going to be a world champion." And it's like once again, when I start saying that stuff, it's like, I read a lot of like self-help books and shit like that, and like a lot of stuff like that, and I've never been like so confident in my head. I've never been one of those like, oh, like big old confident type of person. I've always kind of like beat myself up a little bit first. But just saying this shit out loud every day, and then I have my teammates around me that are like, "You're gonna be a real champion," and it's like I've surrounded myself around not only positive people in that sense, but also brutally honest people who will tell me where I'm gonna come up wrong in this fight too. And I feel like, yeah. And so when it comes to that, it's just a lot of like a lot of what I've done this year is journaling and just writing down like, you're gonna be a real champion. You got to conduct yourself as a champion and be a champion, in everything, in every aspect, in the relationships I have and in life, and how I clean my house and all this other shit. That it's like, it doesn't seem like that would matter in like real life, but it's like how I feel like I lost to Pantoja the first time was rushing the fight, and I do that shit with everything, I'm like, oh, I gotta clean the kitchen, boom, 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 running over here and to see, and it's like I'm not really taking care of one thing at a time, and it's like if I would have done that over and over again in life, I would have mastered that. So it's like when I get to the biggest moment of my life, where if I win, I go to fight for a title contender fight, then I'm doing it just like I did everything else in life, and that's rushing things, So I mean, yeah. So just part of the visualization thing is like I have been like doing like to close my eyes before bed, see myself how this plays out, see the positions that I could be in and can't be in, and I feel like when you're so obsessed with something, you're just doing that all day anyways. I feel like I've done it anyways. Yeah. So it's like that part's never been hard for me, but the saying it out loud and the saying it to myself and all that other stuff has been really hard for me. So it's like that's something that I've done differently this year. I've always done the visualization portion, but the say it to myself out loud, talk it out loud, and then write it in my journal that I'm going to be a world champion, and so on and so forth, has been the biggest difference maker, I think, for me.
Bro, absolutely, and it's honestly for me, it's the same way. Like, I guess because the way I grew up, bro, I'm not really good at like. I hate when the attention's on me. Like, even though I'm on TV, right? You would think I love the attention. Like, no, I love it because it's my job, but I don't like when the attention's on me. I don't like saying, "Oh, Damien is this. Oh, I'm doing this. I'm so this. I'm so that." Like, I'm confident, but I don't need to tell you like that I'm confident. Like, and I feel the same that you kind of feel me on that a little bit, and it's different, right? It's different when you speak it out loud, and you want the whole world to know, because it's different, bro. Whenever it's inside, I feel like that's whenever I'm at my best. Is whenever I'm operating and doing things that only I know. And I feel like, bro, you're as locked in as I've ever seen you, and the difference in your demeanor from January to now, you can tell there's something going on, but not in a bad way, in a great way. And so that encourages me as a fight fan, because I cannot wait for this fight. But as on a human level, being that I've spoken to you, bro, I'm excited to see the growth, not only in yourself, as a fighter, but as a man, as a champion. Like, it gets me excited for you, brother. So, from me to you, bro, I'm really, really stoked for you, dog. Really stoked.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Let's go get this belt and let's go make a statement and prove everybody wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. My last one for you, I want to ask you. You're on a huge card, bro. You're on a huge card to end the year. You're a part of those 2 title fights. Typically, every year in December, the UFC has those 2 title fights, and they have just a ton of good fights. Bro, knowing that you're going to be on one of the biggest damn shows ever, you're someone that has been through so much. Bro, is this not like a culminating, like, again, poetic way to describe your journey? Like, the kid, the kid Brandon Royval, who came from, humble beginnings, now, bro, fighting for the belt. Like, bro, how dope is that for you?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's ever been announced on where the fight's going to be, but I'm pretty positive it'll be at the T-Mobile Arena.
Yeah.
And it's like last week I was at the UFC fights, and I was staying out there for the Contender Series. And I just, I have some stuff to do in Vegas. So I stood out there for pretty much like a week. And every day I would run to the T-Mobile Arena and just, then the weeks before you see Shevchenko fight. And then before that was Moreno. And then I forgot who was the main event of Moreno. Oh, and then the Volkanovski fight. And it's like I just see they're plastered all over the strip, and it's like I'm running up and down the strip. The first time to cut weight for the fight, the second time was just to enjoy the fights and just be out in Nevada and watch those fights. But it's like I'm running down to the strip from whatever hotel room I have or like whatever it is, but I'm running up and down the strip over and over again. And just, I'm seeing these guys in their big moments, and I'm seeing these like I'm seeing Moreno and Pantoja plastered on the billboards everywhere, on these big old venues, these big old hotel rooms and all that. And it's like it was just another one of those inspiring moments where I'm like, okay, this is all like suited for this situation. So it was like another thing that you could say like with visualization or like manifesting is, like every day for the last, like right before the fight got announced, I got back on Wednesday or on Tuesday night, and Wednesday I got the call early morning that I'm fighting down in Vegas on December 16th. And I was like, every day I made that run, and I'm running around T-Mobile, and I'm like, this is going to be where it happens. This is where I'm going to be winning the bout. This is where, I'm going to change my life. And then I see everybody else around before the fights, like before the fight even happened was, Shevchenko's plastered on the billboards all around when I'm running up and down the strip. And then the time before it was Moreno and Alexandre Volkanovski and, all these greats. And it's like, it's my time, and I like genuinely feel that. And I genuinely feel like it makes sense that I'm going to win this belt the way I'm going to win it against Pantoja in Las Vegas. And like all of it seems like it just makes perfect sense for me,
Yeah, bro. I'm excited for you, my friend. I appreciate your time. Absolutely. But if there's anything, you'd like to let the fans know, feel free, brother. The floor is yours.
Yeah. I just want to thank EAP Glass. They're my original sponsors, and they've been killing it since the beginning. And I honestly wouldn't have a career without them. So I want to thank EAP Glass, Ed and Cyrus. And thank you, man. Thank you for your time.
Absolutely, my brother. Hey, well, with MMA Monday, I'm Damien Bartonek. This is Brandon Royval. Dog, I cannot wait for you, baby. Let's go. Let's win a world title, all right?
For sure, bro. I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Later.